What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. In this video, we are jumping into X-Men issue number 16. We are jumping back into the Vault, continuing on our Children of the Vault storyline. We have Forge, who has infiltrated inside of the Vault. He has gone in here looking for Darwin. With Darwin being stuck in here all of this time, it has been thousands of years for Darwin. And while they say that this is all just a rescue mission, that it is finally time they go and save Darwin, it is really looking more and more like the only reason that they are actually doing this is so they can get information on the Children of the Vault. With Darwin spending so much time with them, he is bound to have endless information that may help mutant kind combat the Children of the Vault. Because the Children of the Vault, they are on the precipice of surpassing anything mutant kind could ever dish out. Now, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, make sure you have liked this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so this story is starting us in the recent past. We are having a conversation between Sinister and Forge. The two of them are coming to some kind of agreement, something that they want to keep off the radar. They want to keep away from everything currently going on. They don't want the Quiet Council to know, at least Forge doesn't. With Sinister going on to say that he truly does appreciate that Forge has become the #1 real estate developer on Krakoa, and Forge obviously not necessarily believing him on this. The truth is, Forge has watched several governments pervert what he does, and so before he truly begins to build up Krakoa, he wants to understand everything about it before he gives his heart and soul into it. But Forge is giving him 3 names. Taking that piece of paper with the 3 names on it, he eats it, saying that the 3rd name on that list, Forge says is the most important, but Sinister says that it might be a problem because his mutant gift dwells within his mind, which means he will need access to a cradle. Of course, Forge already has access to one of the cradles. Now at this point, we don't really know what this means. This could mean the Children of the Vault that were sent in there happened to be clones that Sinister had created under the radar of the Quiet Council, all under the orders of Forge. This could seem like the only reason that Forge would really come to Sinister with 3 unique names. But we're gonna find out more about that as this story progresses on in different issues. Right now, we are picking up inside the Vault with Caliban strapped to the chest of Forge. Caliban is a little bit concerned, asking Forge, "Did you really get my approval to go on this mission? How do I know it is true when I have no memory of this?" But Forge lets him know that he simply told him the truth, that there was a troubled mutant in a faraway vault, and Caliban's gift could be one of the things that saves him, and that his gift has been used for the wrong reason over all of these years. For once, this feels like the right reason. As Forge begins to get closer to a populated area, this is when he puts on his disguise, taking the form of Pero. We see them walk through the populace completely unnoticed. Following behind them is Serafina, and I had misspoken at the end of the last issue. I believe that it was Darwin who actually saw him come into the Vault. What we are seeing is this is actually Serafina. She has been keeping tabs on him since the moment he came into the Vault. Not really sure what he is up to, not sure what he is doing. She hasn't raised the alarm, so it's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out. Now, meanwhile, on the outside of the Vault, inside the giant dome that Forge had created, we have Havoc, who is kind of losing his patience, saying that they should be in there. And while Cyclops lets him know that we're not doing that, we are staying here on the outside. If we need to go in, we will. But as it stands, they don't have any suits, which means going inside of the Vault is going to age them tremendously. It'll put a lot of miles on their mind and body. This is when Havoc, he starts to get a little bit of an attitude, letting Cyclops know that I know you didn't want me on the team. The two of them getting in each other's faces, the heated argument beginning to pick up. everybody watching this saying that it's just Alex and Scott going at one another. Like, these two, they're gonna get over it, they'll move past it. This is when Havoc, he lays one right across the cheek of Cyclops. In doing so, it knocks off his visor, with his optic blast flying in all directions. This opens up one of the pods holding one of the children of the vault. We see the real Pero come out, not sure what is going on, not sure what has been happening. It doesn't take him long to realize that he has been living in a simulation. While Havoc, he tries to apologize to Scott, he lets him know now is not the time, because now we have to face off against Pero. Jean Grey and Iceman, the first one to meet him face to face. We see Iceman shattered into pieces. Iceman really didn't understand the strength behind him, believing maybe you hit as hard as Rogue, maybe as hard as Colossus. Now he is recognizing that this is a freaking Hulk smash. Before he gets the opportunity to wake up any of the other children of the Vault, Jean Grey goes into his mind, but he is powerful enough to hold off her advances. It does stop him from waking up the others, with Sunfire coming in and blasting him with everything she has. About to take an ice pick that he takes from the ground. This ice pick is Iceman. He is about to use it and jab it right through the heart of Sunfire. That is when Magic opens up a portal, dropping her in front of the old Avengers mansion. She takes her sword and she starts slicing and dicing, recognizing that maybe, just maybe, he might be outmatched in this scenario. He goes to run. He heads directly for the vault. That is when all the little pieces of Iceman, they come together. They try to stop him, and he smashes him yet again, with Jean Grey being able to hold him off, but also recognizing that he is extremely strong. She is able to stop him from going into the vault, but she's not able to do much more, letting Havoc know that he is strong. Maybe stronger than Colossus, maybe stronger than the Thing, which means Havoc cannot hold back. We see Havoc and Cyclops both hit him with everything they got. Iceman reforming in the shape of a giant hand. He grabs hold of Pero. All of our X-Men are holding him down, resisting with everything he can. We see Magic come up with the cerebral link to his stasis pod, jamming it right into his head. It puts him back into a simulation. Jean Grey telling him that everything was just a nightmare, that him and the children of the Vault had conquered the world. This is when the plant swallows him up and it puts him back into stasis, with them being lucky enough to get him back into that pod before it was too late. Everybody turns to Havoc, and he knows that he messed up. He messed up bad, but he walks off. He goes to do his embarrassment, sit in shame by himself for a little bit. This is when Jean Grey lets Scott know that the two of them, they need to talk, because she has been worried about Sync. She knows that he is depressed, and now they have a loose cannon, Alex, on the team. This team is still trying to find its stride, and Cyclops is very angry that Forge had pushed for Alex to be on the team, because he's still out there looking for something. That something is not this X-Men team. We're seeing that this newly formed X-Men team, they're not meshing well together. Most of the members are relatively good working as teammates, but the truth is, Forge has his own agenda. The only reason Havoc is on the team is because Forge kind of wanted to stick it to Cyclops, because Cyclops, he really pushed his weight around to get Forge on the team, so he knew what Forge was up to for the Quiet Council. But that's where we pick back up with Forge in disguise, making their way past the Sentries, letting Caliban know that it is paramount that they rescue Darwin to try and figure out what the children of the Vault may actually know, letting Caliban know that this suit has some tricks up its sleeve. He can medevac a mutant out on his back, getting into an area where there seems to be a bunch of random individuals inside of stasis pods. This is their Fort Knox for biological material. Going over to one of these and opening it up, they believe that they had found Darwin, thinking that maybe they're gonna get out of here within the next 5 minutes. When they open it up, what they find is not Darwin, but they find Wolverine. They found Laura. They have discovered her alive and trapped in stasis in a biovault. This is when we have the data page. It's really just a sit rep of everything that is currently going on, a recording that will be sent out to the Quiet Council the moment he leaves the vault, letting them know that it is highly likely that the children of the vault found the uppermost tolerance of Darwin's mutant ability. The children of the vault have always been dangerous, but they have incorporated Darwin's adaptability. They may be even more dangerous than ever before. While they may have really pacified the vault, should a lengthy disruption ever occur on Krakoa, it is highly likely that they will escape and become a problem for all of humankind. Forge is letting it be known that we should probably bring in the Avengers, maybe Reed Richards, and definitely Tony Stark into what we are doing here. He's got triple redundancies, but life always finds a way. And if the children are able to escape, it will be an all hands on deck. But he is going to attempt to leave the vault. He is going to leave without Darwin, but with another Wolverine, saying that this seems like one too many Wolverines, considering she was mistakenly resurrected after the first mission. What he is suggesting is that they release the hold that they placed on Darwin and expedite his resurrection to the top of the queue. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. So I hope this answered some questions that people were asking. People were saying that Darwin had been resurrected. I don't recall them ever resurrecting Darwin after his Children of the Vault fiasco. Sync was the only one that was able to escape, and him and Laura, aka Wolverine, they had fallen in love. All of their hundreds of years spent in there, he was the only one able to get out. But ever since then, Wolverine was mistakenly resurrected, and Darwin, he was put on a hold. Now this is going to have a huge impact on Sync specifically, because this is the Wolverine that he loves. They spent so much time together. Now my question is, do we keep both Wolverines alive? Do we keep both Lauras alive? One Laura who has hundreds and hundreds of years of experience, or the one that was recently resurrected after their time in the vault? I almost guarantee that Sync is going to be fighting to keep her around. How all this is going to play out is going to be very interesting, but Forge still needs to make it out of the vault with Wolverine, having no communication with the outside. If he doesn't make it out, nothing that he has learned will be taught to anybody else. My question is, where is Darwin? If Wolverine was right there, where is Darwin? I was really hoping to see a Darwin that had thousands of years of experience, and truly, at this point, it's definitely hands down an Omega level, if not whatever is past Omega level. But it really seems like they are building up the Children of the Vault to not necessarily be the next big threat, but they are definitely a threat that is looming in the distance. You know, it's just another one of those things. Mutant kind has so many odds stacked against them, from Orcus to the Children of the Vault. And while so far they have been able to overcome most of these things, the future isn't looking as bright as it once did for mutant kind. Let me know your thoughts, let me know your theories. If you would like to get caught up on everything going on with this series, be sure to check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It is going to get you completely caught up on everything going on with the X-Men. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership, much like Patreon, having 5 different tiers, from $1 to $50, from loyalty badges to getting free comics every single month. Not only are you helping out the channel tremendously, but you are getting tons of perks in the process. Now, if you can't do that, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.